Bonjour, Émilie Talpin, OM System Ambassador in the US. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I thought I would review my 10 favorite images of 2023. So let's get started. As we are approaching 2024, we have a few more hours. I thought it would be the perfect time to do a review of my 10 favorite images that I took in 2023. And I have to say I divided it into three categories: macro photography, wildlife photography, and a new category for me, landscape photography. And as you've noticed in my last videos, I've been using the OM5 a lot, especially in the White Mountains. I have this camera with me everywhere because it's so small, it's easy to carry around, and it is performing extremely well. And I've been having a blast doing landscape here. Wildlife has not been what I had expected, so I turned into doing more landscape and it's been fun. So that's my last category for today. It might not be as good as the wildlife and macro, but I'm starting and I'm learning, and I'm hopefully eventually will get there. But first, let's start with image number one. I think it's one of my favorite image of 2023. In my last video, I told you the big secret of becoming a better photographer, and it was about carrying your camera everywhere you go. And this photograph was made in the parking lot of my chiropractor in a small town in New Hampshire. You would not imagine that there is a tree frog in a teeny tiny garden next to the building of the chiropractor in a parking lot. But I always check for wildlife, even if it's just a couple of flowers. And I had found this tree frog in one of the roses. It was just there. It's just a perfect shot. You know how sometimes you find those images online and you're like, yeah, that's a posed one. Well, this definitely looked like a posed one, but I didn't touch the frog. It was already in the flower, and I just work different angles until I find something that was satisfactory. And here you can see the tree frog looks like it's smiling. It's really cool. You have a little bit of the reverberation of the flower, that pink, into the bottom of the frog, but it doesn't bother me. It's just what it is. That's what happened. That frog was not pink, but the surrounding was pink, that rose was pink, and so that's what is giving the tone to the tree frog. And I use my flash and diffuser, and that's it, handheld, and I work all around my subject until I find the right angle for this photo. I cropped a little bit, especially for posting on Instagram, 1:1, but not much cropping. I used the 90mm macro so I could get more freedom with my composition. Can get really close, but also a little far. That subject was quite small, but not that small compared to a bee. So let me know, what do you think of this photo, and have you ever had similar experiences where you bought your camera and here it is, it's the perfect subject, you were not expecting it. I think that's what I like the most about photography, is those time where you just go thinking nothing's gonna happen, but hey, I have my camera with me just in case, and here it is, the perfect subject in the perfect position and location. So very happy with this. Images number two is a jumping spider on a, can you guess? Just let me know. If you don't know this image, just post it in the comment below. Can you guess on what that spider is? And for this, I've been inspired by Chris McGuinness. He's using a lot of pom-pom to do his shot of jumping spiders. I always thought that was so cool. And this jumping spider was actually in my office on campus in my old job. And I only had a tennis ball that I use to do exercises, speaking exercises with my students. So I put the jumping spider on the tennis ball, and it was quite comfortable and stayed there and let me took a couple of photos. Actually, this is a focus stack of the spider, and again I use a flash, a diffuser, and it was handheld. And I just love that texture of the tennis ball and how that yellow is also fine in the jumping spider. So actually this is this is one of my favorite jumping spider photo that I took. So that is a good reminder to look around. What do you have? How can you, if you're setting up a shot to make this jumping spider a little bit better? Well, here the tennis ball worked pretty well. For my number three, my macro number three, this is a crab spider. I love crab spider. That's probably my second favorite animal. They just hide in the flowers waiting for their prey. They are pretty cool to photograph. And this one is white and pink, but it also turns into yellow. So it's kind of cool to go back and see what stage the spider is and what color of spider you're gonna get. But here I kind of love it because a friend of mine made me notice that actually it has a little heart on the left. Can you see it? And I like that it was on an echinacea flower because in the background, so when you're taking macro photos, always think about the background. You don't have much depth of field. Your background is going to be most of the time very blurry, but you still need to pay attention to it. And here it kind of looks like Game of the Throne with all the little pigs behind. And I like that it was on that echinacea because it's pink as well, so same color tone, but always try to pay attention to your background when you're doing macro photography. And again, this photo was taken and held with a flash and a diffuser with the 90mm macro. Now, let's move to wildlife photography. I love to photograph birds, and so I actually have a couple of photos in my top 10 favorite photos of 2023 that are bird photos. And my total favorite photo of bird for 2023 was this king bird that was harassing a red-tailed hawk at my local pond in New Hampshire. I have been at this pond for, spent 3 years there, walking around every day, and I was carrying my 150 400 and my OM1. And as I arrived at the pond, I could hear a lot of chaos, and all of a sudden I saw that hawk flying. And so I raised my camera, took some photos, and then as I'm taking the photos, I'm realizing that there is a bird on top of the hawk, but I didn't know what it was. I had to go home, and I thought it was a woodpecker because I could see some red. And I actually didn't know. A friend of mine told me, hey, that's cool because what you photograph is a king bird showing its red flare. And where they're mating or where they're really upset, they can show that red flare, which is quite unusual to be able to photograph and see it. So that was such a treat because it was vibrant. I could see it, while I was taking the photos. And that's one of my favorite because again, I'm going to this location that I've been to every single day, and it just shows that you never know what will happen. That's why you're carrying your cameras and you're hoping to find those moments. So this is a shot I will probably never ever be able to get again. So once in a lifetime. So that was a big treat for 2023, and that was just before I moved out of Concord, New Hampshire, into the White Mountains. So it was kind of like a little present to send me to the White Mountains. So it's a special photo for me. Now, my second photo is this eagle. It is taken in New Hampshire, and it's a eagle that a lot of photographers in New Hampshire know and photograph, and it's just fishing here. And I took many photos of this eagle, but this one I think it's pretty cool because you always, when you're doing wildlife photography, you're looking for the action shot. You're looking for when they're fighting. You're looking for when they're hunting. And here there is a third element that's kind of like a funny one with the cormorant, who are all kind of parading and looking up at the eagle with the fish leaving. And the cormorants are usually pretty good at stealing fish from other birds, but here there's nothing they could do. That eagle was just zooming by with the fish in its talons, And I think it just makes the photo. It's great to have the eagle with the fish, but having those cormorants, I think, really make the photo. Now the background is a little bit busy, but here I really couldn't do anything about it. I might do something in post-processing, but for now that's just a natural image. So if I enter it into a competition, I didn't change the background, I didn't do anything, so I can enter it as a nature photograph. Now let's take a look at my third photo. This is a great blue heron, and this was taken at my pond. And this photo is, I have a lot of photos of heron hunting with more impressive fish and better lighting, but this one is special because again it's at my local pond in New Hampshire in Concord, and I had spent 2 hours waiting for that heron to come down a tree to finally fish, and he waited for the rain to start, and so it was just me, the heron, going around the pond. I had positioned myself because I could see the heron going to the left, so I had positioned myself further, and I was just waiting for it to come to me as he was fishing. And he decided to spend 20 minutes just right in front of me fishing, very, very close. It was a very special moment. He could see I was there. I was not making any movement. I was being very quiet, but he knew I was there, and he still felt comfortable to fish. So that's why it's a special photo for me, and it shows that you have to have patience when you are a wildlife photographer, and you don't go and rush towards the animal, but you let the animals come to you if you can. That's really the best. They're gonna know that you're here, they're gonna be more natural, and that will be a better photo at the end for you. Now, let's go into mammals. So one of my favorite photo of 2023 is actually this coyote. Um, a friend of mine always jokes that at this place that we're going to, there must be a grooming station for coyotes because they are so pretty, and I think he's right. I think, Tony, you're right. There is definitely a grooming station because those coyotes are gorgeous. And here it was the evening light. It was just a beautiful, beautiful light. And that coyote was just posing for a couple of photographers. And it's just a special moment when you are pretty close to that animal. That animal, came towards us, and it was pretty close and just observing us, and those colors and the marsh. It was just a very beautiful evening that I'll remember for a long time. And yes, it's a portrait. That coyote is not doing anything, but it's a special photo for me because of the people I was with and because of that experience. And that was the first time I was being so close to a coyote as well. So maybe next time I'll do a coyote hunting. I actually have one, but I don't really like the background. I think it's a little bit busy. So maybe a goal for 2023 is getting a better image of a coyote. And then my last image for wildlife is of the beaver. And that's my friend Barry at the pond. And here I took him as he was eating this big, big branch that he had just taken down. And again, this is not a great photo. It's a photo that shows some actions. The beaver is doing something. But it's just, again, a special photo for me because of the connection I had with those beavers, which, by the way, I've been back to the pond and I haven't seen them. I think there's been a lot of constructions, unfortunately, around in Concord, and those beavers have decided to relocate to another place. Maybe also their food was getting scarce, so they might also have relocated for this. But I'm sure that all the new construction, all the noise is definitely not helping with the wildlife over there. So that was something that was quite sad for me to find that out. So not the best end of 2023 for me and the beavers in that way. But unfortunately, it is what it is, and I'm very thankful that I had 3 years with those beavers, and I learned a lot from them. So that's still memories that are very important to me, and I'll keep this photo for forever. I actually have it on a big floating frame. It's very important. You're taking photos for yourself as well. Yeah, it's great to have a good photo and share it with other people and they like it. But at the end, you are the one who are gonna put those photos out in your house. So you should like them. You should be happy with what you are shooting. You're shooting for yourself first. And then my last two photos are landscape photos. So the first one is a photo that I took when it was so cold. It's in Lincoln, New Hampshire, and that Alpine Glow has been so beautiful. So getting up early in the morning, I was able to, right before I went to school, get that photo of the sunrise and that glow on the mountains with all the snow. Right now, it's just not great. We had a lot of rain and no sunrise because it's always cloudy, so I haven't been lucky, but hopefully that will change. And then my last image is actually a photo that was taken up in the Notch in New Hampshire in the White Mountains, and there is a place where all the leaves go and do a little circle, a twirl. So if you have your OM system camera with you with live comp, you can really create some cool patterns of all those leaves moving. And this photo did actually pretty well in my club competition because some photographers are like, well, what is this? How did you get that? I look at the data and it doesn't, it like, I don't understand how you have such a short exposure and still be able to get all those leaves. And it's like, it's called live comp. It's magic. And so it's a great tool to have. I love that my OM system camera really helped me to be more creative and do things that I wouldn't be able to do in the field because I would not have the right ND filter, or sometimes with also live ND I would not have a tripod maybe. Well, here I can do it, so it's really fun. It's a camera that really helps your creativity. And so this is my last favorite shot of 2023. Now, I hope you enjoyed those images. Don't hesitate to put any questions or any comments below. I always like to have a discussion with you and let me know, what are your favorite photos that you took in 2023? You can definitely tag me on your Instagram. I love to see all your photos, so don't hesitate to do that. And I want to thank you again for all your support in 2023. It's been an amazing year. If you are not a subscriber, well, it's never too late. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you know when my videos are coming out. And I cannot wait to see you in 2024. My next video, my first video of 2024, is going to be a little bit of a surprise. I cannot wait to publish it. I've got some really cool announcement to make. So I hope you tune in and I will see you very soon. Au revoir!